Well, hey guys, I really want to thank you for joining us on today's webinar, where we're going to be talking about how to get an additional 10 to 30 repeat customer sales and referrals every month automatically. And I'm really excited about this topic. As I mentioned in the emails and the videos that we sent previous or leading up to this webinar, I told you that as a company, we try and provide you the very best internet marketing services to make sure you're showing up online, to make sure you're getting new leads, to make sure you're really maximizing your potential via the internet. But one of the things I've noticed is that there's absolutely an opportunity for you guys if there was a more proactive follow-up after the sale. So if you guys were doing more in terms of email, in terms of direct mail, to get those one-time customers to use you again, to refer you to their friends. And I've come in contact with Brian KASKAVALCIYAN of G4 Marketing. He's actually a personal friend of mine. He and I are in a mastermind where we meet monthly. And his business does exactly that. They've developed some world-class solutions for putting email, direct mail, customer newsletter systems in place to get more repeat and referral business. So he's got some great information he's going to share. I'm excited to hear it. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Brian and let him take it away.
And like Josh said, our goal is to help you grow your business, make more money. We'll give you some tactics and some strategies that you could use to do exactly that. And we'll even offer you some solutions to be able to do that. So let's just kind of jump in. This is the only screen, by the way, that looks like this, but this is all the stuff that we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk really a lot about referrals and repeat business. And we're going to kind of cover it from beginning to end, how you get more. We're going to talk about really the main reason why companies don't get more referrals and more repeat business. We're going to talk about what most home improvement companies, what most plumbing, HVAC companies, electric companies, window companies, they all do it. But if you can fix this one thing, it's going to completely set you apart from your competition, and it's going to have your customers bragging about you to their friends. I'm going to introduce you to my 5-step action plan for multiplying your best customers. So, a lot of businesses rely on luck and accident to get referrals and repeat business. I'm going to show you how to proactively go after that and how to grow your business with that group of people. And we're going to show you at the end, we're going to show you a solution for getting all of this done without having to spend a ton of money, and without hiring more employees, and without doing a lot of the work yourself. So let's jump right into it. So Josh mentioned when we put this webinar together, Josh mentioned my book, the How to Double Your Profits in 6 Months or Less book. And all of you that are on the call, all of you that registered for the webinar are going to get a copy of the book. In fact, I believe they're being packed up right now and they're being sent out. But one of the things I wanted to introduce you to, one of the fundamental concepts that we talk about in the book, and I just wanted to kind of quickly review it with you, introduce you to the idea, and it's going to help make everything else that we talk about, help it make a lot more sense, and really show you how we can multiply profits in your plumbing business or in your HVAC business. So the first thing we want to look at is, how does profit get multiplied in a business? And I'm going to give you just the basics. I mean, I've got a little bit different way of presenting this to home improvement companies, but this presentation, I just want to give you the basics without getting into too much detail, just so to help you grasp the concept. So first off, of course, the number one way to increase your business and to make more money is increase the number of new customers, right? So we do this through advertising and marketing. Some of you are probably doing TV. Some of you do billboards, yellow pages, internet, of course. Whatever you do to get new customers, if you want to grow your business, what do you do to get more new customers in the door? The second way is you increase the average transaction value of each customer that comes in. So if your typical customer today spends $300, $350, $500, whatever it is, what can we do to get that number up? Right? So instead of them spending $350, how do we get them to spend $375? How do we get them to spend $395? How do we get them to spend $3,750? That's the question, right? And that's a profit multiplier. And then the third one is increase the number of times each customer returns and buys from you again. And I throw referrals. So referrals can go in this bucket, and they also sometimes go in the new customer bucket. But for our purposes here, we'll keep it here. So increase the number of times each customer returns and buys from you again. Now, in your business, in the plumbing business especially, this is critical. This is critical to the long-term success of your business. How many times? So we get a customer in the door. How can we get them to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back? And then how can we also get them to buy the other bigger products and services that we offer? Increase average transaction, right? How do we get them to do larger projects like bathrooms, water heaters, repiping, right? How do we get them to do all of those things, right? So those are essentially the three fundamental ways that we multiply profits. So I do a lot of, not as much anymore, but I do some consulting work where I go into companies and I help them with how to multiply profits. That's the thing that they usually call me in for. And these are the three areas that I'll hone in on, right? How do I get more customers? How do I get the customer to spend more money? And how do I get the customer to keep coming back? Now, let me show you. I'm going to show you an example here. And again, this is all in the book, but I just want to give you just kind of a framework here. And you can kind of play along. We did ask you to come a little bit prepared, and one of the things that we asked you for is come with number of customers that you've got, number of referrals that you've got. So you can play along here or just watch what we're doing here. But let's just say that we've got a sample plumbing company, and in a year that company services 750 customers or gets 750 customers. And let's say that the average transaction value for each of those customers is $500. And let's say that the average number of times that customer comes in or buys from the business is 2, right? So each customer, in this case, if we look down here, the assumption is we've got $750,000 in revenue. 500 times 2 is $1,000, 750 customers, 750,000. Now, in the example that I'm using here, I'm going to use a 50% gross margin. You'll notice I did this to keep all the numbers and the math easy, but a 50% gross margin. So what I will look at is, well, so if I increase the number of customers by a small amount, relatively small amount, 10%, if I can get the average transaction value up by, again, a relatively small amount, 5%, and if I can get the average number of transactions per year from 2 up to 2.5, what does that look like in terms of results and outcome for the business? So remember, the business is doing about $750,000 a year at a 50% gross margin. So if we increase the number of customers, so we're looking at, I talk about simultaneous change. There's also, you could do linear, which is just I'll do one and then I'll do another and I'll do another. But real power comes in, what if we do simultaneous changes? What if we do more than one thing at a time? So that's what we're looking at here. So if we increase the number of customers and we increase the transaction size only, if we just do those things, we grow this business by 15.5%, right? We grow the gross profit by 15.5%. Not too bad. If we increase the number of customers and we get them to purchase more, so instead of 2 times, 2.5 times, now look what happens. we go up 37.5%. We go from a gross margin of $350 to a gross margin of $490,000. That's, for a lot of businesses, that's game change land, right? Now if we look at the last one, which is increased transaction size and frequency of purchase only. So we don't add a new customer, we just increase the transaction size and the frequency of purchase. We grow 31%. Now the interesting thing about that is that's no new customers. We didn't add any new customers. All we did was we got our existing customers to spend more and come back more often, or bring more people with them. Now here's where this gets fun. Here's where we can really go in and blow your business out. What if we do all three at the same time? Here's what happens. We increase revenue from $750,000 to over $1 million, almost 1.1. Now remember, the changes we made were very little. We only added 10% of customers. I think we increased transaction value by only 5%, and we went from getting somebody to come twice a year to getting them to come 2.5 times a year. And we increased our gross profit by $166,000. And in this case, we essentially doubled the profits of the business by making 3 relatively minor changes to the business. So this is really exciting, and should be exciting for you, because we're going to show you how to do some of this stuff in your business, right? So a little bit about me. I know if you saw the video that Josh and I did, we talked a little bit about my background, but I think it's important that I let you guys know that I've been in home improvement since I was 21 years old. And I started off as a commissioned salesperson for a kitchen and bath company. And then I went on to start a carpet cleaning and dyeing company. And then about 2 years into that, I also added on a bathtub refinishing company. And over the next couple of years, I grew the 2 companies into an 11 truck business. I mean, we were out every day. The very similar business model to what you guys were doing. We had customers calling us. We'd dispatch our technicians out to the jobs, do the work, and then move on and go to the next one. From there, I started a company called Handyman Network, and I had a partner in that company that was a handyman, and he kept bringing me this idea of, hey, let's do this handyman business, and finally after a year he talked me into it, and we launched that business. And quite frankly, I tell this story a lot, that was just supposed to be a little sideline business for me. I ended up selling my other businesses and devoting all of my time to that business. We grew that business relatively quickly. Within a couple of years, we started franchising. We ultimately had a little over 30 franchises around the country and in Canada. We had 3 of our own offices. We had upwards of 100 handymen working for us out in the field every day. It was a pretty, kind of monster size business. Some of you will know who this woman is here. We had the pleasure of the honor, I guess, however you want to say it, of being on the Oprah Winfrey Show through the handyman business. It was kind of a cool experience. Since then, I sold the handyman, my interest in the handyman businesses back in '07, I think it was, or '08. And I really didn't know what I was going to do next. I took some time off. I wrote the book that you guys are all going to get. And then I started doing some consulting work. And at first, I was away from home improvement, didn't really do anything with home improvement. And in 2009, I kind of got pulled back into it because I saw this huge opportunity of people and companies, and me, I was guilty of the same thing, spending all of their money on getting a new customer, and doing absolutely nothing to develop that customer so that they got more repeat business and more referral. And so what I did was I actually created a platform or a system for doing that for companies. And for the last 5 years now, I guess almost 6 years, we've been doing that. We work with hundreds of home improvement companies around the country, some of the largest in the business. I have clients that do $1 million a year, and I have clients that do one client that does $60 million a year. So I'm telling you all of this stuff because I'm not just some guy that started a marketing company and found, oh, hey, plumbers and window guys and roofers and HVAC guys, oh, that would be a good bunch of people to go after. Let me go after them and, pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I've actually been where you are. I've spent hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on advertising to generate customers. I've run hundreds of technicians or crews, so I know exactly the business that you're in. I know the challenges that your business are in. And I just happen now to own a marketing company because that was the thing that I was always really good at. So I think it's important that you know that going in, so that when we talk about the tactics and we talk about the strategies, you know that they're battle tested. You'll know that I'm not giving you stuff to say, oh, hey, wouldn't it be nice if you did this? Or, oh, go try this and tell me how it turns out. The stuff that I'm going to give you is stuff that's proven to work. Right? So let's talk about referrals and repeat sales, why I like them so much, why I think you guys probably like them so much, and why this interests you, because we all know that a customer coming back for more work is the absolute best lead we can get. And that lead has a lower lead cost. It converts a whole lot better than a cold lead off of a newspaper or Yellow Pages or whatever else you're doing to generate a lead. If we set up our company right, we can get it so that our customers are out there marketing and selling for us. The more of our business that comes from relationship, from repeat and referral, the more control we have over our business, and the more valuable our business becomes, not to mention, of course, more profitable. So the question I always ask is, are you getting all the referrals and repeat sales you could be getting or should be getting? And the follow-up to that is, are you sure? So as we go through here today, you are going to be asking yourself questions as we go through, as I show you the steps and the process. And if you aren't getting everything that you can, then I'm going to give you the formula, and I'm going to give you what you need to do in order to get more of them. And it can be done. It's not that hard. So let's talk about how the majority of home improvement leads are really created. Now, whether it's plumbing and it's HVAC, or it's windows, or it's roofing, or it's painting, whatever it happens to be, the truth of it is the majority of that business is generated through word of mouth. So my sister, a quick story, my sister lives in Newport Beach in California. And we were there in April 4 years ago. We're standing on a street corner. This is an actual picture of that day. I tried to, as I heard the ladies start talking, I tried to get I didn't have my phone with me to record it all, but I did snap this picture. So they're there congregating, waiting for the bus to come with the kids. And on that day that I happened to be there, what was the topic of conversation? The topic of conversation was getting their houses painted. And they were talking about Michelle's guy. Now, Michelle's guy obviously is a painter, owns a painting company. I still don't know the name of the guy's company or his name because I'm intently listening to this conversation. They're talking about Michelle's guy. Now, this woman here, I call her the ringleader, the one with the glasses on. This is my sister here, by the way. So the moms are standing around here. They're talking about getting their houses painted. And she's the one that's kind of promoting Michelle's guy. Oh, you know, I've got him over there. He's doing work. He's doing good work. And she's telling the other ones about Michelle's guy. Now, here's what I know since then, what I didn't know that day. So I knew that day that three of the other people were getting, three of the other ladies that were there were getting, we're going to get prices from this guy, and I guess the ringleader was passing the dude's number around. Well, I know since then that out of those three, at least two of them hired this guy, one of them being my sister, right? So on this street corner, some guy, Michelle's guy, had a customer of his basically selling for him, basically talking and referring him to others. He didn't know this was going on. Now, here's something else to keep in mind. This could have very easily gone the other way. Very easily could have gone the other way. She could have been, the ringleader could have been saying, whatever you do, do not hire Michelle's guy for this reason, that reason, that reason. And then he's destroyed, right? He's getting no new business. So what are you doing? What are we doing to create this in our businesses? Because if you look at every report, if you look at every advertising survey, if you lump everything together that we all do, referrals and repeat sales, word of mouth, trumps them all. Trumps them all. And it's the thing that we business owners spend the least amount of time on, the least amount of money on, the least amount of resources on. Okay? So the one thing, you know, so the great thing about what we're doing here today, and one of the things that I really like and respect about Josh is he understands, hey, you know, nobody in the plumbing space does SEO and online lead generation and internet marketing better than Josh and Dean at Plumber SEO, hands down. But he recognizes that, hey, look, I could be doing a fantastic job of SEO for my clients on the front end, but if they got a leaky bucket and they got customers that are falling out on the back end, that's a problem for them. And if we can go and help them plug those holes, that's going to be better for them. They're going to make more money. They're going to be more successful. So that's what we're focused in on here. So I always say, I mean, we've got to do as business owners, you know, we're all in the same boat, by the way. I just happen to own a marketing company. Josh owns an SEO company, but you know what? We're all in the same business. We're in the customer business. And so we all have to get good at maximizing the profit value of each and every customer that comes in our door. It's got to be something that we've got a process for, a system for, and it's something we've got to proactively go after. Because I will tell you this from my experience, if you are not actively, aggressively, consistently, and strategically pursuing relationship with your customers in the form of repeat business and referrals, you are leaving a ton of money on the table. Now, here's what's worse. What's worse is if you are not doing these things, if you are not staying on top of them, in front of them, constantly letting them know who you are and what solutions you solve, you are leaving them susceptible to the marketplace, to your competition. I like to call it susceptible to the seductions of the marketplace, right? So you are leaving them out there open, ready to be poached by your competition. So how do you do it? How do you build relationship with your customers? So I've developed a system. Before I show you the system, I want you to know, again, I have listened to so many BS people in marketing that I've got a real kind of, I don't want to call it an anger, but I've got this thing inside of me where anytime I show anybody anything when it has to do with marketing, I got to make this disclaimer. I got to tell you that everything I'm going to show you is from experience. That it's either from personal experience or it's from experience of working with clients. I don't want to be the guy that has you experimenting on my ideas. I didn't just pick up a marketing book last week and now all of a sudden I'm a marketing consultant, right? There are plenty of them out there and you guys have run into them. You guys run into the advertising rep who thinks that they are a marketing guy, right? And they have no flippin' clue how to make a lead. They think they do because they read a book or because of anecdotal information, but they don't know. But they are good salespeople and they convince us to buy an ad, and then they design the ad, and then we get no leads and we still have to pay the bill and we're out a bunch of money. So I've been there, and so I'm very sensitive to it. So everything that I'm going to show you, I've either done myself or I've done it through a client and I've learned from others, all right? So companies that have high referral rates don't get there by chance, by luck, or by accident. They do specific things. They do them consistently over time. And the beautiful thing is it's never too late to start. So I work with companies that they come to me in one or two places. Either they're really, really low and they want to get higher, or they're really, really high and they want me to make their life easier. It's usually one of those two things, right? So I deal with both ends of that spectrum. So based on experience and based on my work with hundreds and hundreds of companies, I've created this blueprint. I call it my Referral Success Blueprint, and it has 5 steps to it. So let's just jump into each step. So with each step, if you want to get ready to take a few notes, at the end of each step, I'm going to give you some action items of how to implement this step into your company, into your business, all right? So step number 1 is your commitment to creating customers for life. Your is meaning the owner of the company. If you are not committed to this, it's not working. Okay? So committing to customers for life is really all about understanding the business that we're all in. This is the business that we're all in. Doesn't matter if we're in we have a plumbing business, a marketing company, a restaurant, a dental office, none of it matters. We are in the customer business. I like to say we're in the business of creating customers, keeping customers, and multiplying customers. Okay? Now, business owners tend to look at this a couple of different ways. I call it hunter, farmer, right? So a hunter is all about the kill. They're only concerned about eating today, not tomorrow, today. What can I go out and kill today? Now, I was very, very good at this. I was a very good hunter. I still am a good hunter. I mean, you got to be a little bit of both. I'm still a good hunter. But it's an expensive and hard way to make money, right? A hunter is all about transactions. So when I had the handyman business, a lot like you guys, we did a lot of transactions. And I knew better back then. I knew better. But I still went after the transactions because I was looking at how many checks came in today, how much money went into the bank, how many jobs did we do. I wasn't thinking about how do I get that customer to come back, how do I get them to give me more money, and how do I get them to bring their friends and family with them. A farmer, on the other hand, is not only building his business for today, but he's also building it for tomorrow, for next month, and for next year. He uses leverage to grow his business. So you use your customers to help you grow your business. A farmer is about creating relationships, right? The more relationship you have, the better the quality of your relationships with your customers, the more successful your business is going to be. So these companies here on the right, you know most of them, right? Everybody knows Apple. Everybody knows Disneyland. what are these companies all about? The Ritz-Carlton, Nordstrom, what do they all have in common? They're all about the customer. They are not transaction to transaction. The business is completely designed around the customer, their experience, and their relationship with you. And so now this is where you come in, the owner. This must become a part of your company culture, and it's got to be led by you. This means that you talk about customer relationship. You talk about customers for life. You talk about being the plumber for life. Because here's what happens. When you make that decision, you have to do business different than you do it today. When you look at the customer for what they really are, which is the people that feed you and feed your family, then you look at your business in a different way. So I would say, so I've made a study of all of these companies, and if you guys aren't familiar with these companies, I mean, obviously I think most everybody knows these two, Disneyland and Apple. Ritz-Carlton, almost everybody has one, near them. You can go sit in the lobby and just experience what it's like to be there, even if you're not a guest. Nordstrom, if you've got a Nordstrom near you, you know that they're known for their customer service. But if you really want to experience this and not even leave home, go to Zappos. Zappos.com is an online shoe store. It started off as an online shoe store. It's more than that now. But buy something from them and then return it. But call their customer service department in order to return it. Also, and you'll be blown away by the level of customer service. Absolutely blown away. There's a great book called Delivering Happiness by the founder of Zappos, Tony Hsieh. And Hsieh is spelled H-S-E-I-H. Great book about customers. Right? So that is step number one. Relatively simple, not easy, right? But it's all about you, the owner, making a commitment. Step two is about earning the right to referrals and repeat sales. So what I like to say here is, what are you doing to create an exceptionally memorable experience for your customer? A good, memorable experience, an exceptional experience, an experience that they want to go and tell all of their friends and family and neighbors about. And it all starts from that initial phone call. All of it starts with a phone call. How are they treated on the phone? How are they made to feel on the phone? How is their appointment set? How does the technician show up? Is he neat? Is he clean? Is he respectful? Does he knock on the door and take a big step back away from the door? Does he wait to be invited in? Does he speak clearly? If he goes outside, is he smoking a cigarette and walking back in with a giant cloud of smoke around him and that smell? All of these things make for a customer experience. And I will tell you, in all the time that I've been doing this, the one thing that contributes to referral success more than anything else is the customer experience. And so this is an area that I actually do a lot of work in, and that is in how do you design a customer experience that is so memorable and so great that people want to go and tell others about it. So the example that I use here is this guy, Walt Disney. Walt Disney was an absolute master at creating a customer experience. And because of that, think about who gets more referrals and repeat customers than anything else. Disney. Disney is just a referral and repeat customer machine. Why? Because they are all about creating raving fans. See, to me, I've kind of skipped over this, but I'll just go through it real quickly. So this is kind of the loyalty ladder, and it's based on this great book called Up the Loyalty Ladder. I don't think the book is available anymore. You might be able to find a used copy of it. But this is a book worthy of study. In this book, he talks about the ladder being prospect, shopper, customer, client, advocate. A friend and mentor of mine added suspect to the bottom, and we added raving fan to the top. See, most companies stop right here. They stop at, they do all the work to get the suspect, turn them into a prospect. The prospect, then is make an appointment, have them come out, they're a shopper, and then they give us money, they become a customer. Well, most companies stop right there, and then they move on and they go right back down here and they start over again. Instead of taking some time and turning that customer into a client. So in your case, in the plumbing business, you guys should be the trusted advisor when it comes to all things plumbing in your customer's house. A client, and again, I don't have time to go into this. I make the distinction in my book, so you'll definitely read this section in my book. But a client is really more about a relationship, but it's a higher level relationship. Think about your doctor or your accountant or your lawyer, right? An advocate is somebody like the ringleader who's out there actually talking about you to other people. A raving fan is somebody that's out there riding their bicycle around a neighborhood looking for roofs that need work, and then going and knocking on those doors and saying, hey, I know the best roofing company in the Tampa Bay area. That is creating a raving fan, which, by the way, that's a true story. One of my clients, that happened with one of their customers. That guy gave them 32 referrals in 1 month. And he did it by riding around his neighborhood on his bicycle looking for roofs, and he loved his experience with my client so much that he went and found them new customers. So how do you do this? How do you create the experience? Well, number one, you design your customer experience from beginning to end. Play customer in your own business, right? How do you make your customer feel? They're going to remember how you made them feel more than what you said or what you did. So keep that in mind. At Disney, they use this term magic moments. So what are you doing in your business to create magic moments? And in home improvement, in all areas of home improvement, we hear about the tragic moments more than we hear about the magic moments. Pay attention to details and create wows. How do you wow your customer? So here's your homework or your exercise. Play customer in your own business. If you've not done it recently, do it before you eat. If you do it after you eat and you call into your company, you will likely get sick. Do it before you eat. Call your company and play customer. And then look at every interaction point that your company has with your customer and ask yourself a simple question. How can I take this experience and make the customer say, wow, after that interaction with us? That's your homework assignment. One quick thing that I'll say about referrals, and this is something that people don't always understand. A referral is one of the hardest leads to get. Why is it so hard to get? It's hard to get because it's built on an experience that somebody already had. It's not the promise of an experience like a cold prospect is. It is an experience that somebody has already had. And so if for one reason or another, a person, your customer, doesn't have 100% confidence that the experience that they had with you will be duplicated for their friend, family, neighbor, coworker, whoever, you're not getting the referral. Because who's at risk? You're not at risk. Their friend isn't at risk. they are at risk. The person making the referral is the one always that has the most risk. So if their confidence level in you is not through the roof, I am 100% certain that this amazing experience that I had with Josh's plumbing company is going to be the exact same experience my friend has. Getting referrals is going to be difficult. Okay. So that's step 2. Step 3, demonstrate your appreciation. This is simple. Everybody wants to be the special customer, including you. When was the last time you made a purchase and you were actually thanked for making that purchase? When was the last time you got a thank you note? When was the last time somebody called you after the fact and said, hey, thank you, we really appreciate your business? Sorry, but it doesn't happen much. And we all know that. So the idea is to use appreciation, A, because it's the right thing to do, but also appreciation is a very powerful marketing strategy. So after every job, how are you demonstrating your sincere appreciation and gratitude for their business? Now, what they've done by giving you their business is basically they have placed a level of trust and confidence in you, and especially for those of us that are in home improvement. I mean, look, my companies have been in thousands, tens of thousands of homes around the country. Think about that. You go into people's most sacred space. And so the demonstration of, hey, you are somebody more to us than just another transaction and just another number will put you so far ahead of your competition, because most of your competition is not doing this. You know that. But if you are the one company that's doing it, you stand out. So how do you do this? You write thank you notes. You make happy calls. You make personal visits. And in the right conditions, you send a gift. The gift doesn't have to be an expensive gift, but you send something to say, hey, thank you, we really appreciate you. Right? So that's number 3. Number 4, get feedback. Now, you're all clients of Plumber SEO, and they do a great job of helping you get feedback, reviews from your customers. That's fantastic. You've got to do that, and you've got to know what your customer is going to say about you before they go and tell everybody else. Right? So there's nothing better than getting that feedback, having them fill out a survey, and acting on the information that you learn from the survey. Okay? So that's step number 4. And then the last one is step 5. Step 5 is keep in touch. And I put here, you'll notice I added in and wealth. Now, this is a much bigger conversation than we can have here today. But the real wealth inside of our businesses is in the asset that we are developing over time and the value of that asset on the day that we say, hey, I'd like to retire, I'd like to exit my business. Most businesses, I think I heard 86% was the number, 86% of businesses just die, are not sold. So this, what we're going to talk about here, we're going to talk about how to use it to get repeat and referral, but in the back of your mind, this is also a wealth strategy inside of your business. So the biggest reason why you're not getting all the referrals you could be and the repeat business that you could be is really, in a lot of ways, especially in your business, in the plumbing business, is because your customers forget about you. Whether it was 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 days, whatever it is, after you've left, after your technician has left, after your truck is rolled out, they're on to something else. They got family, they got a spouse, they got a boss, they got bills, they got soccer, they got the car broke down, they got all this stuff. They forget about you. One of the things that just used to make me insane was I would talk with my franchisees around the country, and I would say to them, hey, look, what are we doing to keep in touch with the customers? What are they doing? And invariably, a bunch of them would say back to me, well, they know who we are. They know how to find us. And I would just be like pounding my head against the wall, because that's not true. And anybody that believes that is naive and arrogant, because it's not true. Now, some of them, yeah, maybe, but not the majority of them. And so I tell the story of these two guys that I met, and they gave me permission to use the video, but I don't know why. I feel kind of bad, so I cover their faces now and I don't play the video anymore. But I'll give it to you in a nutshell. These guys see me at an event. They come up to me. They weren't clients of mine. They come up to me and they say, hey, you know, we really hear what you're saying about past customers. Listen to what just happened to us. So a week before, this dude over here, he's the sales manager. This guy over here, he's the owner. The sales manager's out trying to drum up business. Now, they've never kept in touch with their customers, but now all of a sudden the guy thinks, well, let me just go to the phone because I want to go make some leads. Okay, it works. It's a decent strategy. But here's what can happen. This is what you got to be prepared for. So he hits on a customer that they did a project for some time back, a big project. These guys were in the roofing, window, and siding business. Okay, so so he's talking to this customer of his, and he hears pounding in the background, and he asks her, "Oh, what's that? What's going on?" She says, "Oh, I'm having new siding put on my house." He says, "Siding?" He says, "But we do siding." And what does she say? "Oh, well, I didn't know that you guys do that." Turns out she's not only getting her whole house done with siding, she's also having her whole house done with windows. This was a $40,000 job. That because this guy didn't make the effort to stay in touch with that customer, he lost that opportunity. Right? $40,000. Now, in the plumbing business, we talk a little bit about this idea of lifetime customer value, or I call it lifetime profit value. So here's another exercise that would be worth doing. You can do this when you get my book. There's a calculator in there that you could use to do this exercise, but you could just do it right now on a sheet of paper. And the exercise is very simple. So when I get a new customer, how much is that new customer worth the first time that they come to me? And on average, I'm going to guess that for a plumber, it's somewhere in the $300 to maybe $500 range, right? So call it $350. So the first job's worth $350. Well, if you stop there and don't try and get any more out of them, then their entire profit value to you is $350. But you know as well as anybody what their real value is over years. So if they spend $350 with you now, when's the next time they're going to need you? Right? So maybe they'll need you once a year maybe. And then next year maybe they need a water heater. 3 years from now maybe they need a repipe. Maybe 4 years from now or 4 months from now they want to have bathroom remodel done. They want to change the faucet in their kitchen. What is a customer potentially worth to you? So if you look at a customer as, well, they're only worth $350, well then it's not worth keeping in touch with them then, is it? But if you look at a customer at what they really are worth to you, which I could just use, my numbers, and the work that I've done with other plumbing and electrical and HVAC companies, I mean, you're looking at multiples of that, upwards of probably $10,000. So if you look at that customer and you say, yeah, they're only spending $350 today, but there's another $9,650 to get with them over the next 3, 4, 5 years, that's a very different relationship. And so that requires you to stay in front of them, to keep in touch, to actively, aggressively, consistently, and strategically go after them. So what does that look like? So keeping in touch, people ask me all the time, well, what works? And my answer is everything works, right? Everything's better than nothing. So you could send them postcards, you could send them letters, you can send them notes, you can call them, you can email them. You have a referral program in place and you constantly remind them about it. The one thing that I'll mention about this, the biggest mistake that people make here is that every communication is give me more money, give me more money, give me more money. That's the biggest mistake that people make here, right? So when you're doing the keep in touch piece, you want to think about, how do I develop relationship with them? How do I deliver value to them? So one of the things, I mean, my favorite way of keeping in touch with customers is through a newsletter, right? Now, I'll tell you something, just to give you guys an example for those of you that may or may not use a newsletter. You guys get one of the best customer newsletters I have ever seen, ever, from Josh and Dean. That thing is killer. Now, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go, I hope Josh doesn't mind, but I'm going to go, a little inside baseball in this. I'm going to go behind the scenes. That thing takes a ton of work, a ton. Dean designs that thing, and I think it's gone from like 8 pages, now it's going to go to 12, or the thing keeps growing. There's articles that need to be written. There's things that need to be designed. The thing needs to be packaged and put together and all. It's a ton of work, but it's very productive. It's very profitable for the person that receives it, but also for the person that's sending it. So you don't have to do newsletters, although, again, I think it's one of the best things that you can do. It's something that we do, hundreds of thousands of newsletters every year for our clients. But you could start off by doing simpler things. But again, don't make it all about, hey, this month is, this is November and it's time for you to give me money again. Or, and then not talk to them again forever, and all of a sudden you need leads, and call them up and say, hey, it's November and I need money. That's the biggest mistake that people make. So you've got to have a little bit of a balance of both. So that's your 5 steps. And the goal with all of this, so each thing kind of, let me go to the blueprint here. So each thing kind of builds on itself. So if you start here at the end, the keeping in touch with the customer, so you stay in front of them, email them, send them letters or postcards, or newsletters, you call them once in a while, you stay in touch. Now, if you have done your surveying, hey, I've done a good job for them, they're happy, they're satisfied, they're willing to refer me, right? So that's step 4. Step 3 is I sent them out a thank you, I showed them that I cared about them, that they're special to me, right? I delivered a great experience to them so they're confident in me, so that when they got the thank you card, they really appreciated it, they gave me good feedback, and now I'm keeping in touch with them. And then it all starts with, I, the owner, committed to this. This is what I committed to creating, right? So the key to success. So I essentially gave you the 5 steps, and I gave you exactly how to do it, tactics, strategies, and at the end here, I'll hang on. We've only got about 10 or 15 minutes left. I want to show you a way that we can help you get this done. If you want to hang out for 10 or 15 minutes and you want to ask some questions, you could either raise your hand. I think next to your name there's a way for you to raise your hand, or you can just type your answers into the question box or into the chat box, and me or Josh will come back around and we'll look for those questions. We'll be happy to stick around and answer your questions. So let's talk about now the different ways that you can get this done, right? So obviously you could listen to everything I just said and not find value in it and say, look, this isn't something for my company, or you feel like, hey, I'm already doing a good job of all of this stuff, and you can choose to do nothing, and that's fine. The second thing is you can go and now start executing and implementing from these 5 steps and start building out the systems and the processes that you need. Or the third option is you'd let somebody do it for you. So I'm going to take just a couple minutes here and I'm going to show you a program that we developed specifically for plumbers. And it's a system that, if we look at it, implementation is the key. Getting this done is the key. And so I'm going to show you here essentially what we did. So if you look at the blueprint, steps 1 and 2 are really all on you. What I can do is like what I've done. I could share tactics and strategies. I can share best practices. What do other companies do in steps 1 and 2? What does that look like? But ultimately, that's really up to you. And now, if you choose to, you can actually outsource steps 3, 4, and 5. Now, you already do outsource step 4 because Josh and Dean are doing that for you through Plumber SEO, through your website. But steps 3 and steps 5, we can do for you. And let me show you what that looks like. So a few years ago, we created a program. We called it the 1 into 5 program. And it was really designed specifically for home improvement companies. And we've had the good fortune of working, like I said, with some of the biggest and some of the best companies in the home improvement industry, from roofers to HVAC to window companies, siding, bathroom companies. I have a client that's one of the biggest one-day bath companies in the country. They do over 20,000 bathrooms a year. And so we've had the good fortune of working with a lot of companies just like yours. And so what our program essentially does for our clients is a few things. Number one, it automatically shows their customer your appreciation. So your customer your appreciation. It keeps in touch with your customer for years. It's got direct mail components, it's got email marketing components, and it's got a formal referral program. So we're going to talk about referrals here in just a minute. The way that our program is designed and developed is we make it super easy for our clients. So just like you don't have the time to do your own SEO and to do your own website development, you give it to Plumber SEO and they do that all for you. Our deal is very similar. All you do is once a week, your office, not even you, the owner, will train somebody in your office on how to do this. And all it is, it's a very simple spreadsheet that is delivered to my office once a week, a couple times a week, whatever you want. No more than that, though. Just once a week is like the most I would go before doing, getting back to a customer. Once you email that to us, you're done with that. And everything I'm going to show you happens automatically from the time that you send in that spreadsheet. So the very first thing that we'll do, and we've got different levels of program, but this is something that we created as a kind of a basic program for plumbers to get you started. And when you see the pricing on this, you're not going to believe that you can get this done for what we're showing you this for. But what we do on your behalf is we send out a thank you card, and we send it out in an envelope that looks a lot like this. You'll notice it's got a handwritten font, it's got a live first class stamp, and it's got a return address, hand addressed. The idea with the envelope, so when you do direct mail, and I don't want to get into a whole thing on direct mail, but the biggest obstacle to direct mail is getting the damn thing opened and looked at, right? So, and that's why a lot of people use postcards, but postcards get lost in the shuffle and all that. But when you get an envelope that looks like grandma sent it to you, that thing's getting opened. So when they open up that envelope, inside is a card, a thank you card, and we designed all of this stuff for you. And what we do is, inside of that thank you card, we give them a gift. And what we do is we give them a friends and family gift card, for whatever amount you want to give them. And we say to them, hey, look, this is a card for you to use for your next service with us, or if you want to pass it to a friend, we'll honor it if you pass it to a friend. So that's the first thing that we do, is immediately send out a thank you card to your customer. It's all, by the way, everything we do is completely customized for you. It's got your colors, your logo, your face, your signature, your name, your company's website, your company's phone number. Everything is customized for you, and everything is personalized to your customer. So we use your customer's name on the card, in all the follow-up and everything that we do. We're using their names because personalization really helps. That's the first thing. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to create, and this is going to be a little bit with your help, but once it's created, you don't ever have to worry about it again. We'll get on the phone with you and we'll talk about, okay, we're going to do 2 follow-up mailers for you over the course of the year. What are we going to send them? Are we going to send them a big oversized postcard? Are we going to send them a referral offer? Are we going to send them another card with another gift card in it? Are we going to send them a letter? Are we going to attach a check to the letter? We have a number of different options that are available for you, and we will create that. For you and automatically send those out at the times that we determine. So, like for example, we'll send out we send out the thank you card today, and then maybe 60 days or 90 days later, we'll send out the first follow-up mailer. And then the second follow-up mailer maybe we'll do a year after the job was done. All right? But that's not all. So that's stuff that's going to the mailbox. We're also going to go to their email box. I'm going to come back to the referral program here in just a minute. So we are going to send them emails on your behalf. So at the beginning, they're going to get an email. First of all, they're going to get one immediately from you. Welcome to the family. Thank you for choosing us. Just a really nice email from you, the owner. And the emails look like you sat at your computer and you typed out this email. They're not fancy with HTML and all of that stuff. And then they're going to continually get, every so often, they're going to get an email from you. And most of these emails are, hey, I'm just checking in, want to make sure everything is okay. If you need us for anything, we're here. And so they start off by doing we start off it's like once a week, and then it starts to taper off like once a month, where they'll just get a random email from you in their email box. Very, very cool. The other thing that we'll do, and this ties in beautifully for those of you that are on Josh's monthly newsletter program. If you're not, you need to be. It's like super cheap, and it's just another touch with your customers. But we do a newsletter called the Happy Home Gazette. And so all of your customers will get the Happy Home Gazette. And again, it's complete, it's customized. It's got your logo, your phone number, your website. We have a very specific format that we follow with the newsletter that we create. So it's got a recipe in it. It's got fun facts in it. It's got a quote. It's got a home improvement article. It's got family article. It's not all about plumbing. People don't care all about plumbing. And so we write this newsletter, and it goes out every month, the second Thursday of every month. So all of your customers, once they are activated in our system, will start to get also the email newsletter. And again, if you're using Josh's as well, that's even better, because their newsletter is essentially taking the information from your blog and an offer and sending it out there. So between what we're doing and a very kind of, friendly wrapper mention of the referral rewards program, they're getting that once a month, and then they're also now getting one that's a little harder hitting with the offer right up front from Plumber SEO. So if you're doing both of them, you've got, we're wrapping our arms around this customer in a big way. So then we do the email newsletter. Now let me back up here for a minute, and let's talk about the referral program. So one of the things that you get as part of this program is you get a formal referral rewards program. And so we create a separate page for you off of our site, referralrewardsprogram.com. We run a quarterly contest. We give away cool shit every quarter. We give away this season we're giving away a GoPro. Next season we're giving away a $500 American Airlines travel voucher. We give away cruises. We give away iPads, and what we do is in every communication that we do on our client's behalf, we mention the referral rewards program. So the thing is with referral programs, just as an aside, is when you've got a formal program, which most companies don't have, when you have a formal program, it shows people, hey, we're really serious about this. We're really serious about this idea of referrals. And then also it gives you a formal way of saying thank you to them. It gives you a way of incentivizing them to give you referrals. And so this is one of the ways that we help you with that, is by giving you a formal referral rewards program. And so we do stuff like we'll do email blasts when the contests are coming up. So 10 days before the contest and then 3 days before the contest, we send out an email that looks like this, just reminding them about the contest and about the prize. So we are essentially, again, wrapping our arms around that customer and just dripping and staying in touch and staying in touch and staying in touch. We also have a brochure that you can use when you're in the house, or your technicians can use as a leave behind, that tells people all about your referral program. And for those of you that are going out and doing larger jobs like bath remodels, and if you're using an iPad or a laptop or something, we've also got a little it's not even a whole presentation. You add it on to your presentation. So we'll give you a little PowerPoint that you can add on to the back of your presentation or put into your iPad to show people your referral program. So this is very cool, and this is also part of the deal. Now, the best part about all of this is that this is all done behind the scenes. You could be doing whatever you want to do. You can golf, hang out with your family, relax, whatever you want to do. But once, all you have to do, remember, is give us the list, the spreadsheet, name of customer, customer's address, and customer's email address, and that's it. You're done, and we've launched all of this stuff. So let me give you an idea of just how powerful this is, right? And then remember, all of you have three options. You can do nothing. You can do this on your own. I'm showing you exactly what you need to do. Or you can look at something like what we've got, what we put together and we do for hundreds of clients around the country. So I did just a sample here to show you if you did, let's say, 150 customers a month. We call it activations. 150 people are activated into our system. What does that look like in terms of customer touches every month? And so by the fourth month, so if you're giving us those names every week like you're supposed to, we'll have about 600 people, 600 of your customers in our system, and we will have touched them that month. By the way, this is not, this is month 3 is 1650, and then month 4 it jumps up to 1950, and it keeps growing every month from there. So almost 500 customer touches per week are happening automatically, and this is just in the fourth month, right? Look what happens by the time you get to month 9. 3,450 touches. This is all happening automatically for you, week after week, day after day, hour after hour. It's all being done for you automatically. Okay? So that's how our program works. So the question is, if you implemented something like this in your plumbing business, wouldn't you get more repeat referral business, or could you get more repeat referral business? So, I know the answer, at least for the people that I work for. Obviously, I can't answer that for you. But if your answer is no, you couldn't, then either you're doing everything right or you're doing nothing right. So either way, we'd be happy to help you. So you probably want to know now, how much does all of this stuff cost? So again, let's get it. The three options are do nothing. Second option is build a system like this yourself, or let us do it for you. So how much does it cost? So Josh essentially negotiated for you. And Josh is not fun to negotiate with. Are you still there, by the way, Josh? Did you mute yourself out? Did you leave me here alone, Josh?
I'm here. I just put myself on mute so you guys don't hear any background in the office.
Oh, okay. All right. So you are listening to what I'm telling them about you. So essentially, Josh negotiated for you. And we put together something, and I spoke with him at length. I mean, we spent hours putting this together to put something together that we think would deliver the most value to you for the most reasonable investment. We even talked with some of you that might be on this call and asked your opinion on, hey, what about this, what about that, what about this, and what about that. So we put together what we think is a pretty cool program. And before I give you any of the investment money, I want you to know that whatever you do with G4 Marketing, and by the way, this is not a program through Plumber SEO. This is not Josh's company. This is us. This is completely independent of what they're doing. He just wanted to bring this service to you, and again, he negotiated on your behalf. So we offer a 60-day better than risk-free guarantee. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is you can be in our program for 60 days. I could have sent out thousands of things for you. And if at the end of that 60 days you say, Brian, you know what, this is not what I thought it was, this is not what I want, whatever reason, I don't care. You just tell me, and not only will I'll give you all of your money back. No questions, no hassle. I'll give you every penny of your money back. I won't, deduct money for this and deduct money for that. I'll give you every penny back. So that's why I call it better than risk-free. So here is what our program essentially is going to include. So we manage everything for you. We fulfill everything for you. So the way that we base our programs is by volume. So, do you do, on average, do you do 100 customers a month, 150? I have them from 100 up to 300 for you, for plumbers. What we're going to do for you is we're going to send out the thank you card with the gift card. We're going to follow that up with the 2 direct mail pieces. We're going to do all of the email marketing, including the monthly Happy Home Gazette newsletter, plus we're going to give you the referral rewards program. And so we have monthly fees that we charge for that, and these fees include all of the direct mail and all of the email for the first, in this case, the first 100 customers. Each of these, by the way, is discounted by $200. That's essentially what Josh got for you, was $200 off per month. In this case, a couple dollars off per customer. So you'll see here that even at 100, you're spending less than $13 a customer. I think when you're over here, you're like not even $11 per customer. And the way that this works is you basically choose where you are in terms of average number of customers per month. So let's say that on average you do 220 customers per month. Well, then this is the program that you should choose, the 200. And that will include your first 200 people. The next 20, obviously, if in any given month you go over the 200, we charge you per piece for the difference. If you go under, so let's say instead of 200 you do 195, the 5 will roll over into the next month, right? So you'll start the next month off with 205 new customer, what we call activations. Okay, so those are the monthly fees. Now, to get started, there's a one-time fee, and that's for us to set up, design, and customize all of the programs, to put together what we call the appreciation package, all of the direct mail, all of the emails, set up your specific referral rewards program. And our regular price on that is $14.95, but again, because you are a Plumber SEO client, we're discounting that by $500, and instead of $14.95, you're only paying $995 today to get started and to get everything set up. Again, this is a deal that Josh negotiated on your behalf, and it's a pretty damn good deal. You'll notice down below there's a URL, plumberprofitstraining.com/start. When you go to that page, you're going to notice options, the 100 option, 150. As you scroll down that page, it'll go 100, 150, 200, 250, and 300. If for some reason, if you're way beyond that, if you're at like 500, 600, 700 a month, you should probably call me, and we might be able to get a little bit of scale for you. But I believe for most of you, 100 to 300 will cover it. Now, when you click on the program that's right for you, you're going to be taken to a page that looks like this. Now, you'll notice here you're only going to pay today, you're only going to pay the $995. And then the monthly fee doesn't start for 2 weeks or upon completion of your setup, whichever comes first. The way that this is going to work, now look, there are a lot of people on this call, and there's no way all of you are going to say yes. But even if you did, there's no way we could do all of you at the exact same time. So I'm going to do a little bit of an incentive here for those of you that want to jump on this and get started right away. But let me tell you what this looks like. So once you fill out this form and you hit submit, then we are going to contact you within the next day or two. Typically, it's the next business day. And we are going to set up a we allow 1 hour, but it usually only takes about half an hour to 45 minutes to do our first initial interview call, and you'll do that with Addie. And on that call, we will start to essentially put together your program. Addie will ask you for a few things. Obviously, she's going to need your company logo. She's going to need your company information, your website, phone number. She's going to need a headshot of you. Who is going to be the company spokesman, or spokeswoman, or spokescouple, right? We've done them all, right? So who is going to be the company spokesperson? We're going to need a high-resolution image for that. And then there's a bunch of other questions that will need to be answered so that then we can go and start putting your systems together. After that call, it takes us about 5 to 7 days to put all of your pieces together, like the design of your pieces together, and then we will send those proofs to you so that you can look at them and you can approve them before they go out. So you'll see your thank you card, you'll see your gift card, you'll see your follow-up pieces, and everything will need to be approved by you. And then once you approve, then we go to work and we start building out the systems, the platform to run all of your customers through. While that is going on, and don't worry, I know I'm throwing a lot of information at you. Don't worry, because Addie will go over all of this stuff with you, and we make it very, very easy. We try and make this a 1 hour to 1.5 hour process for you tops, okay? So once we've got all of that information, we start building out your programs. At the same time, then we'll talk to the person in your office who is going to essentially be our contact point, the person that is going to be sending us the names. And then we'll get them trained, and the training part's easy. Here's the spreadsheet, here's how you fill it out, and then here's the spreadsheet, here's how to fill it out. Go back a week or two, get some names, send them in, and those will be our first names. And then we will be in contact with that person every week on the day and time that they agree, and ask them to submit your lists to us. And that's it. It's really very simple. On your end, it's just make a decision. Do you want to do nothing? Do you want to do this yourself? Or do you want us to do it for you? If you want us to do it for you, that is the process. We try and only take about 1.5 hours of your time at the most. We know how busy you are, and we don't want to add anything to you. And by the way, you don't have to write anything. You don't have to design anything. We're going to do all of that for you based on the answers you give us during our interview together. So now to sweeten things just a little bit, so we've given you a $500 discount on the setup. We've saved you $2,400 a year on the program fees. What we'll also do is we will set up the referral rewards brochure for you, and then you can go and have those prints. We'll completely customize that for you as well. And then we've got another program, and Addie will explain this program to you. I'm not going to do it here, but we've got another program called the Referral Appreciation Program. So one last thing about referrals. If you're getting them now, which I'm sure you are, what are you doing to make a big deal out of them to the people that are making referrals? Because one of the most powerful referral strategies there is when somebody gives you a referral, you make a big deal out of it. You don't have to give them money. You don't have to give them a gift. But at a minimum, you want to call them and thank them. You want to send them a thank you note. And if you can, so what we recommend is if somebody makes a referral, you give them money. That's our recommendation. It always is. But at a minimum, you should be calling them, you should be sending them a thank you note, make a big deal out of it, because what you want to do is you want to reinforce the behavior, and the behavior is, hey, they referred us. Okay? So, Josh, I know we still have a bunch of people on the webinar.
Well, first of all, I just
do we want to take questions?
Absolutely. I do want to say, Brian, thank you for doing this. I think this was a great training, and I'm sure based on the number of people that stayed on the line throughout the whole call that they got value out of it one way or another.
Yeah.
in terms of the program, I really feel like we spent a lot of time talking with you guys, our clients, trying to figure out what would make sense financially. And Brian did really sharpen the pencil quite a bit. I don't know really how he can do all of that, including the writing, including the cost of the mailing at that cost. But I feel 100% confident that if implemented, this program will drive more repeat and referral business and have a significant return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, if we can do it for roofing companies, you know, we can kill it with plumbing companies, and we've worked with quite a few HVAC companies in doing this. So, does anybody have any questions for us?
Yeah, guys. So you're still on the line. We'd love to hear from you. You can either type in the question box your questions, or you can raise your hand, and I can actually unmute you. But Brian, we do have a question from Jerry, and his question is, what's the best way to ask customers for their email address?
Okay. That's a good question. So there's actually a whole bunch of opportunities for asking for email address. Now, what I'll typically recommend, especially like service company like yours, is up front when you're taking the call, you say to them that you ask them for their email address, and if they ask you, well, why do you need my email address? Say, because we're going to send you all of the information through. We're going to confirm via email. We sometimes will, if we're running late, or if there's something you need to know about, we let you know via email. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is just to be straight with them and say, look, because we want to stay in touch with you via email, every so often we have specials, we have things that that you might want to know about, so we like to stay in touch with our customers via email. I prefer the first, which is that is the way that we'll be communicating with you. We'll send you an invoice that way. I mean, whatever it is in your system that you can say, that you could say to them that is process related, not necessarily promotion related. Does that make sense, Josh?
Yeah, it does. And yeah, that was pretty much what I was going to say. We've tested this, and the companies that wait until the service call is done and they're basically walking out the door, and at that point say, hey, can you give us your email address? They're going to say, well, why would I do that? I mean, the service is done. I'm paying you now. But if you ask at the point of the booking, right, when they call in, and you're saying, okay, what's your name? What's your phone number? What's your address? What's your email address? Right then, the percentage of people that give that information at that point is significantly higher.
Yeah. The other place to put it is on your contract or on your service form, on your invoice. And so when the technician is filling out the invoice or the contract, it should be printed on the contract just like phone number is. And so it's just one of the things that they ask. And your phone number, and what's your email address, and what's your, so it just becomes a natural part of the contract as well.
Yeah. So another question we have is from Rob Luongo. Rob, thanks for being on the call, and thanks, Jerry, as well. And he's asking, does the service fee include printing and mailing? And
absolutely, of course.
Yes.
Everything. Yep, everything's included.
Yeah.
There are no additional fees.
And then his other question was, can we serve customers up north? He's in Canada, wants to know if we can serve customers in Canada.
Yeah, can he Josh, can you give me his information, or he can call me directly? Can I give him my phone number direct?
Absolutely, yeah. Or I can have
305
you as well.
Yeah, 305-856-8788. Interestingly enough, my fulfillment partner with this program is actually very close to the Canadian border. And so they do have some, I don't know exactly how they do it, but I know that they do mail into Canada. So, but call me offline and we'll get it figured out. In fact, if you want,
there's at least a few people from Canada on the line. And so if you give me that number again, I'll send it out.
Well, and just to make things easier, why don't we do this? Have them go ahead, just go ahead. If you want to get started with the program, go ahead and grab one of the spots that we've got available. Go ahead and put in all of your information. Do the setup fee. The setup fee won't change because you're in Canada. The only thing that might change is the post amount, but I think it's fairly negligible, the difference. And if for some reason we can't do it, then I'll give you your money back, and I'll call you and I'll say, hey, we can't do it. But I think that would be more productive, especially if you've got a few people. So instead of having all these separate conversations, just go ahead and get signed up, and then I'll talk to my fulfillment partner this afternoon and just get the details, and I'll get back to you with the details.
Okay. So
for the Canadian people, and obviously once they register, I'll see that they're from Canada, so we'll give them a call back tomorrow and let them know.
So another question's from Vince, also in Canada. He wants to know if there's Canadian content on the newsletter.
Well, the program, for the Happy Home Gazette.
Right.
There is not, but I'm curious what specifically he's talking about. So when he says content, I'm thinking two things. One is there Canada-specific articles? And I'm going to say no, because there really aren't even United States-specific articles. But what I really think he might be asking is the nuance in language.
Right.
That's what I think he might be asking.
Vince, feel free to post a follow-up to that so we can clarify. Steve's got a question. He's asking, what do we do with the existing customers? Do we wait until they call for service and then start getting back to them onto the program? Because they've got this large base of customers. Yeah. What happens with those?
So one of the things that Addie will talk to you about is exactly that. So I'm glad he asked that question. So imagine drawing a line in the sand. So let's just say December 1. Everybody from December 1 forward that's new gets put into this system, into this program. People before that, we've got a number of other options for those people. So we can do a special direct mail piece to them. We can do newsletters to them. For a few bucks, you can put your people into newsletters. We can do direct mail, put them into the same direct mail follow-ups that the new people are getting. But that is something that Addie will definitely talk to you about during your setup and interview call with her. It's definitely something we address because there's so much opportunity there. It has to be addressed.
Got it. Good question. So another question is coming from Greg. How long do you stay in touch with the customer once they're started?
Well, so as long as you are a client of ours, the emails are going to continue. We're going to continue emailing them. We're going to continue the email newsletter. We're going to continue the referral rewards program. At the end of the first year, so the direct mail, at least this program, and we've got other options as well for people, but for this program, after the second mailer goes out, we will come and talk to you and say, hey, do you want to consider putting these people in for more stuff next year? Obviously, it's not, at $11 or $12 a customer. It's obviously for quite a bit less. And so we will bring that up, just like with the past customer question that we just had. Now those people become past customers, and so what do we do with them to keep them going with some automated direct mail? So the initial program includes the first year of the direct mail, and then at the end of that, then we're going to come back and we're going to say, okay, now it's year 2 for this group of people. They're still getting the emails, they're still getting the email newsletter, but do you also want to continue doing direct mail with them? And the answer will likely be yes, because we'll be tracking results and we'll know whether or not because the postcards or the letters that we create are really going to be driving people back to us. Yes, they're going to be friendly and we're going to build relationship, but because it's plumbing, we are going on all of those pieces. We're going to put, all of your services on there, and we're going to put offers for all of your services, because we don't want them to think that they can go to somebody else to get their full bathroom done. We don't want them to go to somebody else to get repiping. We don't want them to go to Home Depot to get a water heater. We want them calling you. So we're going to list out on every, on those follow-up pieces, we're going to be pretty aggressive about, hey, these are all of the services that we offer, and we're going to have coupons or some sort of offer coming back to all of those.
Good. And so Vince did post a follow-up, and his question was about the content being Canadian specific. He said there was a note on the Super Bowl in the newsletter screenshot, and I guess he was just saying that won't resonate the same way in Canada. I guess that's what he was referring to there.
Okay, so he was referring to content that's Canadian. Okay. We can discuss that. We don't have I think we've only got a few clients, but on other programs in Canada. We might be able to do something like that, depending on how many of your guys want to come on board. I think we can do something like that. But here's what I would ask. I would ask Vince to spend a little bit of time with me and my writer and my copywriter, so that we get a sense of what the difference is and what he would like to see, and then we'll make it happen.
Perfect. And so Dan's asking, can I get a copy of the PowerPoint presentation to present to the owners?
We're gonna put the replay up. Can they look at the replay? Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Dan, if we get you the video replay, will that be what you're looking for? Or did you want the actual slides? We'll definitely get a video replay for you. So Greg's asking, is there the initial fee will cover the emails forever and the print for 1 year?
Let me go back to that screen for a minute. Hold on.
And Dan says the video replay is fine. Yeah, Dan, we'll get that out. We'll get that out to all of you guys after this.
Yeah. So this monthly fee includes the fulfillment of the 100 people, and the fulfillment means the thank you card, the 2 follow-up emails, the 2 follow-up direct mail pieces, all of the emails, the email newsletter. It includes all of that. What continues after that is as long as you are a client of ours and you're bringing new people in, the emails will keep going to the old people.
So I think the answer, Greg, is yeah, it's going to cover the emails as long as you're an active customer going forward.
Right.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, great questions, guys. If you have any other questions, feel free to chime in. I really appreciate you guys sticking around, and I hope you got as much value as I perceived from this training. Excellent. Well, if you haven't done it yet, I'm going to encourage you to go straight over to plumberprofitstraining.com/start. There you can get registered, sign up as one of the initial guys that get the special incentives for taking action right away.
Yep. Cool. Any other questions?
I'm not seeing any others come through.
Cool.
So we'll hold on for maybe another 30 seconds. If you guys have anything, put them in. If not, thank you so much for your time, and I hope you guys have a great day. And we really appreciate your business. All right, Brian. I think we'll close it here.
Yeah, it's a good group, Josh. I think that I definitely think that repeat referral for these guys is huge, and I hope that whether we do it or they do it themselves, I hope they'll take what we've given them, and they'll run with it. I know they'll make more money.
I agree.
Awesome. All right, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
I
We'll
will
talk to you